I figured out a plot hole. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does make sense, okay? For my tertiary characters, there are 20 of them. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diamond. Today is Tuesday, July 25th, and this is the last week that I am working on developing the characters for my fantasy novel. So my plan for the month of July was to fully flesh out the characters in my fantasy book. So the last couple of weeks I really worked on developing the main characters in my story, so I have those done. And this week, this final week, I will be working on the secondary and tertiary characters. So for my secondary and tertiary characters, I really just want to know, of course, like their names. I want to name all of them, and I want to understand, you know, like what is their purpose to the plot? Why are they here? How do they impact my protagonist in the plot and the story? So that's what I really want to figure out with these characters this week. And it doesn't really have to be in depth. It can just be like a few lines, like a 1, 2, 3 sentence little paragraph about who they are. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And my other plan for this week is to develop a character organization chart. So I want to like visually be able to see, okay, this is my protagonist. Who is she immediately connected to? And then let's say this is my love interest. Who is he immediately connected to? I really want to visually see that. So I'm going to, once I name all the characters and I have everybody set, I'm going to do that. So I do have a project that is not writing related. I have to sand the rails for my stairs, so I'm gonna do that. But that's really the agenda for this week. So I'm gonna go make breakfast and then sit down and get to work.
You feel alive, let's hit the dance floor. Don't work too hard, might break a backbone. Return of the Mac, the king is back though. Corvette and cash, I never lack those. She saw the stone, you know how that go. Fatality, my diamonds that cold. Versace trunks, I hit my backstroke. Knock on the door, she at the back, bro. All I really take is a little taste. Island girl, blue eyes with a little bass. Here for the thrill, I don't need a chaser. Wanna vibe at a getaway. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, I got the semi-four way. Don't step out the...
Okay, so now that I've worked on my secondary and tertiary characters a little bit, I want to talk about them. So basically all I'm doing, like I mentioned, I'm not going to do a full character profile for these characters. That's not needed for them, okay? But all I really want to know about them is, of course, their name. I want to know their role and like relation, and then I want to put any plot beats or like scenes that I foresee them being a part of. So that's all I really want to hash out with them. And for reference, are you ready for this? This is going to sound a little crazy, I know. So for my secondary characters, I have 3 secondary characters. That's totally cool, totally reasonable, right? For my tertiary characters, there are 20 of them. But like honestly, I'm not like a crazy person who's just like putting 30 characters in one story. I'm not crazy. I know that would never work. Okay, so let me explain. I have my 6 main characters, right? So my tertiary characters are the families of those 6 main characters. So, you know, my protagonist, we have her mom. My love interest, we have his mom, dad, brother, and sister, right? And so on. So that's why there are so many of my tertiary characters. And like not all of them are going to be in the story. Not all of them are going to have lines or just like screen time. For me, I want to know who my main characters are related to in order to make the story make sense. You know, like I can't have a chapter where I say, oh yeah, my dad took me to this lake when I was little and that's why it's really important to me. And then in chapter 10, I say, oh, my dad's been dead since before I was born. You know, like I'm doing this for continuity issues that may arise. I don't want them to arise. So I really just want to know who my main characters are connected to. And also, yes, I am just writing 1 book right now, but it's going to be a trilogy. So having these other tertiary, secondary characters will make sense in the long run. It's not just all going to be put into this 1 book. And speaking of secondary characters, I do want to say that I thought about a really good backstory plot beat for one of my secondary characters. Okay, so let's talk about it. So I have my so one of my main characters is the antagonist, right? So his father, I thought about a really good backstory about his dad that ties into the present focus of my protagonist. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does make sense, okay? And when I was thinking about it, I wrote a really long plot beat about this. And in that plot beat, I figured out a plot hole with my overall story. It was kind of like a fork in the road, right? So I have this main backstory plot beat, and then I have over here, this is a plot hole. We could lean into it. I could lean into it and I could see where it takes me. So I wrote it all out. I wrote, if this continues to happen, or if I let this happen, this will happen, and this is how the story would change. And then I also did, if I close it and I make it non-existent, if I change it to where it cannot happen, this is how the story will go and this is how it will happen. I did both of those, and I'm leaning towards closing that plot hole, making it non-existent, making it so that it cannot happen. But it was really exciting, scary, fun to see a plot hole this early on and be able to problem solve. And when I say plot hole, I mean that this is a question that could arise at some point, and maybe a reader would be like, oh, but couldn't this happen? That's what I mean as a plot hole, not that something like totally didn't make sense. But yeah, it was fun to problem solve and kind of see which way the story could take me. So yeah, that kind of like is propelling me forward. It's kind of making me want to keep going and see what other little gems and nuggets I can think of along the way before I start drafting. Okay, so right now my Walmart delivery is coming, so I'm gonna get that, put that away, and then work on actual work a little bit, and then later on, maybe around like 3 o'clock or so, I'll work on my, no, actually maybe around 1 o'clock I'll work on my characters, and then 3 o'clock I'll work on sanding my stair rails, because those are the two things I have to get done today.
I tried to open up, it wasn't good enough. Put in my all and got nothing back. Now I'm stuck in the rain, dealing with all this pain. Why you gotta do me like that? Don't say you love me, then go and leave me. It can't get ugly, trust and believe me. Saying to myself, looks so deceiving. Trying to fight back this far from easy. I've seen your...
We just moved in, and these are the rails for, well, there's another one, but this is the rail for the stairs, and this was originally like painted black, but the stairs are nice, like kind of this color. They're a nice wood color, natural like dark cherry. So what I did is I stripped the paint away, the black paint, and then I stained it. Now it turned out really nice the first time, and for some reason, unbeknownst to myself, I did another layer of tint or stain, and it came out too dark.
Turn cold, lost control. Looking at this beautiful distraction. Fell in love with a fatal attraction. I really let my guard down, now relaxing. Why did I open up? She taking way too much. Put in my all and got nothing back. I'm feeling so ashamed, I fell into your game. Why you gotta do me like that? Don't say you love me, then go and leave me. It can't get ugly, trust and believe me. Saying to myself, look so deceiving. Trying to fight back this far from easy. I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know gave you all of me, had me so deceived. You chose to lead my life, so I'm on my own in the cycle. I can't believe. Don't say you love me, then go.
Hi, hello, excuse the lighting. We are in my kitchen right now. It is 10:09 at night. I'm in my kitchen eating way more of these delicious chocolate chip cookies. Can you see that chunk right there? Oh my god, I'm eating way more of these chocolate chip cookies than I made the other day, but I'm in my kitchen eating these chocolate chip cookies because I am celebrating. I'm celebrating the end of character month. I've officially finished my characters. I have my main characters and all my secondary and tertiary characters planned out. I have them all in a like flow chart, organization chart. I'll show you that right now. Okay, so this is the flow chart for my characters. This is what I'm calling it right now, Project Star. This is the protagonist. She is of course at the top with the little star. So basically these are all the characters. These top 6 are the main characters, and then underneath we have their family relationships. So this is a family relationship, this is one, and so on. I think this is a really cool way to kind of just see an overview of who's connected to who, and of course as I add more characters in, I'll fill this up. But for right now, pretty happy with this and how it looks. So yeah, I am done. I feel really good about leaving at this point. You know, over the course of actually doing the world building and starting to draft this book, I may add more characters or take some away, I don't know, but I do want to give an update on annotating. As you can see, annotating was a fail. I'm not a tab annotator. I figured that out. I love to just write in the margins and underline. This is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong, and so far I really love it. I love the world building. I love how she's sprinkling in little backstory hints. She's really good at showing, not telling, character descriptions. So overall, I'm really excited to like keep annotating this book. Another thing that I've been doing is at the end of the chapter, can you see, I've been writing just a few notes about like a chapter review, basically like a chapter review. I've just been writing what I learned, any good descriptions that she did. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm gonna enjoy my cookies, celebrate my win of finishing character month, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be all about world building. Bye.